Have you ever wondered if it's better to work out in the morning or at night? We're gonna settle this once and for all with science. Plus, I am share my experience working out at both times of the day so you can see what the pros and cons are. To understand when it's best to work out, we first need to look at what happens in our bodies when we exercise. When you lift weights or do any kind of physical activity, your body goes through many changes. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes more rapid, and your muscles start to use energy. This energy is stored in something called ATP, or adenosine. Now, ATP is like the fuel that powers your body's cells, but it doesn't last forever. That's why when you exercise, your body starts to break down this ATP to get more energy. However, as you continue to exercise, your body produces more waste products, which can cause fatigue. This is where hormones like cortisol and adrenaline come into play. These hormones help your body adapt to stress by increasing the amount of energy available to your muscles. But they also have another effect. They raise your blood sugar levels. This is so that your muscles have the extra energy they need to keep going. So what does this mean for your workout routine? Well, it means that the best time to exercise is when your body is able to produce these hormones at their highest levels. And guess when that is? Morning or night? Neither. The best time to work out is actually between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. because during this time of day, your body temperature, which is a big factor in athletic performance, is at its peak. But unfortunately, most people don't have this kind of flexibility with their schedules. So what's the next best time to work out? Believe it or not, it's actually at night. According to research, people who exercise at night tend to be more consistent with their workout routine than those who exercise in the morning. One study even found that people who worked out at night had lower cortisol levels the next morning, which could lead to improved sleep quality. That said, there are still some potential downsides to exercising at night. For example, one study found that people who worked out at night were more likely to Another study found that people who worked out at night had higher levels of the hormone testosterone, which can make it harder to fall asleep. So, what about the morning? Is there ever a good reason to work out then? Sure, if you're someone who gets most of your exercise before noon, your body has enough time to recover before bedtime, and you won't disrupt your sleep. But if you're someone who tends to be more active later in the day, working out in the morning may not be the best use of your time. In fact, according to a recent study, people who worked out in the morning were more likely to skip workouts altogether compared to those who worked out at night. So ultimately, the best time to work out is whenever you're able to make it happen. The important thing is to find a time that works with your schedule and that you can stick to consistently. I used to work out at night after my 9-to-5 job. But since becoming a mom, my schedule has completely changed, and now I only have time to work out in the morning before my son wakes up. I got to say that's been a huge adjustment for me, because I used to much rather work out at night. I always felt more energized and motivated in the evenings. However, I've learned that it's just not as easy to get back into that rhythm now that my life is a bit more hectic. One of the biggest challenges I face is finding childcare at night. My husband and I work opposite shifts, so we're never both available to watch our son while we work out together. That leaves us with only one option, which is to hire a babysitter. But that can be expensive and logistically challenging. On the other hand, finding childcare in the mornings isn't as big of a challenge. My mom is thankfully able to watch him for a few hours while I get in a workout. It's not ideal, but it works for us right now. And honestly, I feel so much better after a morning workout. Even though it takes some effort to wake up earlier and get moving, the benefits are definitely worth it. I have more energy throughout the day. And I feel like I am setting a good example for my son by prioritizing my health and fitness. Of course, I miss my nighttime workouts sometimes, but I'm trying to focus on the positive aspects of my new morning routine. And who knows? Maybe one day things will change and I'll be able to go back to exercising at night again.